The Minnesota DFL released its full report today after pulling its endorsement for Minneapolis mayor. That report shedding more light on what the state party calls substantial failures in the convention's voting process. Tonight, Joe McCoy is digging deeper into what went wrong.
Additional details by the Minnesota DFL Constitution, Bylaws and Rules Committee are providing a closer look at the DFL convention this past July.
People need to believe that a process is fair. And in this case, there's virtually nobody that does.
Yesterday, we learned from the committee's initial report that the ultimate reasons Omar Fateh's DFL endorsement for mayor of Minneapolis was revoked was because of substantial flaws in the electronic voting system and because mayoral candidate Duane Davis, who met the threshold of receiving 20% of the vote, was improperly dropped after the first ballot.
We knew there were some irregularities. We had raised some of those concerns on the floor.
But that was not all that went wrong. According to the committee's report, the entire Ward 5 credentials book was lost by the Minneapolis DFL, causing delegates to have to reestablish their status.
There was an entire ward where nobody knew who the ward delegates were. The whole thing went missing.
The report also says the master check-in sheet at registration was not properly secured, resulting in the opportunity to replace, delete, or alter ballot ID numbers. Also, the official credentials digital spreadsheet was unsecured and accessed by non-members of the Credentials Committee, including the campaigns. Even with all of this, Fateh supporters feel his endorsement should not have been revoked.
I feel like this decision continues to make many people feel unwelcome in the party.
The Minneapolis DFL is now barred from endorsing any candidate for mayor this year. However, the state DFL is granting all candidates access to a voter information database that only typically the endorsed candidate receives. Julie.
Well, you know, Joe, an opinion piece in the Star Tribune, Rochelle Olson wrote, "This is ineptitude at best and corruption at worst." Is there anyone that is coming forward to say they think this was nefarious, that someone was doing this on purpose?
Right, of course that depends on who you ask, but in a now deleted tweet from Jacob Fry's campaign spokesperson, that tweet said, quote, "The CBRC findings are more damning than our campaign could have possibly imagined. This wasn't an error, this was brazen cheating." So again, that tweet has now been deleted, but you see how they were feeling after that report was initially released yesterday.
All right, thanks so much, Joe.